we're back, and if I had any food in front of me, I would be eating a big old bowl of crow because they showed me that 31-13 prediction was just not going to happen. Which we should have expected that, but hey, I picked it based on what I saw the 2 weeks before and didn't have any reason to think it was going to turn out any better. So it is what it is.
That's what'd we say? We said we're either going to win or we're going to get blown out. So we watched the last 2 weeks and said, we're getting blown out. This is historic offense. It's like the 8th best offense of the 2000s era. And they're coming in, and we have a struggling defense, to put it lightly, and they're going to do whatever they want to us. And, they stuck their whatever in the ground and they went after it, pinned their ears back, and they played phenomenally. That was one of the first games in a while that kind of felt like the comfortable lead was building. They kind of made it close there towards the end, but I wasn't super stressed about it. A little garbage time action, but not garbage time. I mean, 6 turnovers. They had no turnovers for 4 weeks, and then they get 6, which I think tied the Steelers' record. It's their most since the Tennessee game in 2010. 6 turnovers in a game.
Wow.
So, TJ Watt, welcome back to the sack category, balling out. It's like if JJ's calling the game, TJ's getting something done.
Wow. I mean, and it just goes to show you make a team one-dimensional. They shut that running game down, and next thing you know, good things start happening for the rest of the defense.
Yeah, they didn't let Jonathan Taylor do anything. I was watching a video of kind of how we stopped him, and we realized that on a lot of their play actions, Daniel Jones drops back pretty far. And so we were sending them the outside rushers, whether it be Herbig or Watt or Sawyer or Highsmith, we were sending them deep rather than cutting them in and just allowing Hayward and Harmon to clog the lanes. So Daniel Jones would take a step, 5-7 yard drop, and he's met immediately by an edge rusher, which I thought, worked. Daniel Jones, although he's looked really good this year, he's not been this good the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting, obviously, today's deadline day, they're going all in this year. They just traded 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. So
wow.
I guess they're taking Sunday as an anomaly. And they're moving forward.
The highest paid corner in the league right now. Did they give him a new deal, or something about that?
He actually signed, I think, either a 6-year deal with the Jets last year.
Oh, okay. I thought he was still his rookie contract, and then I saw that.
So for however long he was the highest paid corner. I don't know who. Probably Patrick Surtain the second is probably the highest paid corner right now, if I had to guess. But at one point, Sauce was the highest paid corner. But yeah, they I guess they're taking last week as a slap to the face and get back after their style of ball. But you always wonder from whenever you're a team that's doing well and a game happens and nothing works and none of your strengths are strong enough to do anything. I always wondered, does that mean they've been figured out? So are now teams going to watch the Steelers and say, okay, this is what we have to do? Now, granted, most teams aren't 3 to 4 deep at edge, but every defensive player stepped up. I can't think of a single bad performance. Darius Slay, in between being on the ground injured and being on the ground missing a tackle, he didn't do that much because he didn't play that much. And Kyle Duggar played 97% of the snaps, and he was fantastic. Yeah. So I'm so pleased with the defense. It felt nice to have a good home win like that.
Yeah. And to your point on the Indianapolis thing, a good team is going to figure out how to counter that so that they can, keep winning games. But, yeah, I thought about that before we signed on. I was watching some of the game. I was like, I wonder if this game is either, Indy's going to say, okay, they've kind of figured out our MO a little bit. Are we going to be able to counter this? Or are they going to be able to counter it? Or is this just going to kind of send them on a little bit of a slide? Are they for real or not?
Yeah, because if you think about it, it was about this time last year when Russ's moonball to Pickens stopped working.
Mm-hmm.
When teams realized they could just, single high, drop a safety back and double Pickens, they realized we had nothing else to do, and the entire team shut down because we had no other answers. So, I wonder how they'll come back. Tomlin made his, Tomlinism this week, and he said, fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes. I'm like, sometimes if you look at what he says, like, what does that even mean? And then you're like, I kind of get what he means. I'm like, I kind of understand what he's saying. But no, it was a great day. I want to hear your perspective. So obviously this was, the Colts was reminiscent of the 2006 AFC divisional game when, Jerome fumbled at the 1 yard line and Ben saved everything.
That was a wild ball game, man.
Last Sunday was the anniversary. They brought the team back. They brought that team back. They were there. Joey Porter Sr. was. I mean, pretty much everyone that you could think of was there.
Did Hines make it? I haven't seen him in any of the pictures.
I didn't see him in any pictures, but I heard people talking about him, so I wasn't sure if he was just like not in the photos. But I don't know. I guess they posted photos, but I didn't see Hines. I don't know why he wouldn't. Well, he's a coach, I think, somewhere. Wasn't he a coach at Arizona State? So he might be a season. But I was 11 years old when that Super Bowl happened. You were just a little bit older. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on that season? That's crazy.
Yeah, I was 30 then. Yeah.
Wow.
That was a wild year because they were coming off of Ben's rookie year, finished 15-1, and playoffs rolled around. I think they were number 2 seed that year, but they ended up having both games at home because the number 1 lost or something like that. They could have been the number 1 seed that year. Well, no, they were the number 1 seed because they were 15-1. What am I talking about?
Yeah, because we lost to the Patriots at home in the AFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot of years or some years where they've been the number 2 seed and then ended up being at home for the championship game. And that's where I was getting turned around. That season was wild because there were a ton of expectations coming into it the next year or for the Super Bowl 40 season, and everything was looking great in training camp. And the preseason games started, and all the snaps that Ben got, he wasn't looking good. Everybody was questioning him. It was like everybody was expecting him to be slicing defenses up in the preseason. He was staying in the pocket and just reading. He wasn't letting go of the ball in time, and it was just really odd vibe going on. And I don't think the coaches ever said what they were doing, but I believe what they were saying was, look, this is preseason. We want you to just sit in the pocket and scan the field. We don't want to be moving you around back here because that's what happened when the regular season started. They wanted to try to groom him a little bit in some live game action and just sitting in the pocket. But he didn't look good in any of those preseason games. They ended up, I think I was looking at the records earlier, they finished like 3-1 in the preseason, but everybody was questioning, is this guy, looking at a sophomore slump? When this team is ready to make the next move for a Super Bowl, is he going to hold them back? And then the regular season starts, and man, they thrashed Tennessee 34-7. That first drive, Ben was rolling out on bootlegs, throwing downfield. And that was when Steve McNair, I believe, was still their quarterback. I mean, Tennessee was.
R.I.P.
Yeah, they were a good ball club back then, and they just annihilated Tennessee. And then they went down to Houston to play. They were in Texas, and the second game of the year, I think it was like 110 degrees on the field or something. I mean, it was like one of those really hot ball games. They just wiped the floor with the Texans too. I mean, just killed them. And then come back home to play the Patriots, and that was an awesome ball game. That was wide open if they lost it by a field goal. But early, at some point in the game, Hines caught a pass for 85-yard catch and run touchdown, just outran Rodney Harrison right down the field, man.
Love that.
But lost that game. It was there were some really good games in the beginning of that year.
I mean, it was an up and down year. I mean, they finished in the wild card spot.
They were 7-2 before they went on a 3-game losing streak.
That feels familiar.
Yeah.
Was this 2025 or 2000? It feels very similar. Well, I mean, just again with Alumni Weekend, and I want to get more into, and we can talk about this, in future podcasts about that whole season because really just a magical.
Yeah, we can talk. There's some nuggets in there with that 3-game losing streak. That it wasn't good losing those games, but there were some things I picked up on in some of those losses that. All hope wasn't lost, obviously.
Yeah. I know for the longest time I had, back when they would sell the T-shirts with the newspaper on it, I had that one with one for the thumb. I had that T-shirt. I wore it so long it faded out. Passed it down to younger brother. He wore. It's someone probably has it somewhere, but I just remember the bits of that game. Antoine Randall L's pass to Hines Ward. I mean, just so many memorable. It's the Super Bowl and just memorable play. It feels like the Steelers and memorable Super Bowl plays go hand in hand together. And it was so cool to see that group back together. And just they all say just brotherhood. Like that's what that team was. They kind of like willed their way to a championship.
Yeah, I love seeing Ike Taylor and Dick LeBeau there. I mean, I was always a big Ike Taylor fan.
Well, that's why the defense played so well because Dick LeBeau was there.
They had something to live up to.
Yeah, I mean, I just imagine if you see him like standing on the sideline, you're like, oh, okay, gotcha, coach. Today was trade deadline, 4 p.m. We could talk about Jacoby Myers, who he's not a Pittsburgh Steeler, he's a Jacksonville Jaguar. Oh man, that would have been great.
They gave up a 4th and a 6th for him.
I think a 4th and a 5th. That's great. We could talk about Rashid Shaheed, who would have been a great fit. Just run that way, and you'll be good. Oh, wait, no, he's a Seattle Seahawk. They traded for him. We could talk about, oh, no, we didn't trade for anyone. We didn't do anything. And I'm like split right down the middle with this. Because on one hand, the past couple times we've made, I guess, notable deadline deals, Mike Williams, Avery Williamson. We have something with the Jets and 5th-round picks. Yeah. We could have gotten Garrett Wilson or Sauce Gardner for a 5th-round pick. That would have been different. But we, especially in the recent Omar Khan era, we're kind of hitting on these later round picks. They're not necessarily Pro Bowl, All-Pro players, but they're contributors and they're growing into it. So on one hand, I'm really annoyed because we have a very obvious gap at wide receiver 2. I know Calvin's kind of that wide receiver 3. I think he's just too small to be a wide receiver 2. I think he's just limited in tight coverage. And I was kind of hoping we'd get some offensive line depth. I understand that's super hard to do mid-season because you have to come in and learn a new scheme and everything. And also some defensive back help would have been good. We're banged up back there. But we didn't do anything. We stood pat. I firmly believe, I'm not going to sit up there and say, oh, we didn't do, I'm sure Omar Khan was working the phones. I have no doubt that they had their price that they would pay for these guys, and that's it. I'm glad we didn't give up a first-round pick. I'm okay not giving up a second-round pick. And that kind of leads me to my other side where it's like, let's build through the draft. We are not an all-in team. We talked about this at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. So many people outside the organization were saying Steelers are all in on 2025. They're all in. They're signing these vets. But we're not. We're not all in. We're building a team, absolutely. But we spent 3 consecutive first-round picks on offensive line. Right? Is that right?
Yeah. And as far as starters go, I believe we're set on the line for a good while now. We got a lot of guys there.
We're doing what the Eagles did, which is you build through the draft. You build the line, build offensive, defensive line through the draft, and then from there on, you figure it out. My only concern my only concern with that is now you have 4 teams this year who have multiple first-round draft picks, and you could argue 3 of them are in the quarterback market. That's Cleveland, the Jets, and the Rams. Rams might look for a replacement for Stafford. That's on top of the teams who obviously already need a quarterback, and it's not like we have 32 first-round quarterbacks coming out this year. So I don't want them to A, miss a player, B, overpay for a player that's not going to be good, or C, do nothing and we have Rodgers for a year and then we're, I don't know, signing Geno Smith in a year. We got to figure out this situation. So I was annoyed, but what were your thoughts?
I mean, I don't see us being a Super Bowl team this year. We might win a playoff game. We'll see. I mean, they got to be consistent. That's what I want to see them establish, some consistency. Now that they've got this Colts game out of the way, how many can they knock down before they drop another game? Because, I mean, they're going to lose another game or two at least. Maybe more than that. Hopefully not. But if these guys can get on a roll, let's just see what happens. But they're not Super Bowl material. I don't believe they are. So just stand pat where you are, keep your draft picks, unless somebody fell in their lap for cheap or just such a deal that they couldn't turn away that's going to help them in the future. Like we talked about before, is it a receiver that they can give a new deal to and he can be that number 2 guy for the next 4 or 5 seasons? Fine, and make that move. Otherwise, just ride with who you have right now and play the season out. See what happens.
I think again, and that's why I was interested in Jacoby Myers. He's a route runner, which is kind of what we need. We don't have a real tough route runner right now. I really miss Antonio Brown's route running. God, that was just impeccable.
Yeah,
Um,
he was a surgeon.
yeah, he was. But also, I don't want to give up a third round pick for a guy. Well, so I would have liked to see something, but also, if historically speaking, whenever we trade for someone midseason at the deadline, Minka Fitzpatrick was a little bit different.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
who almost got traded today. But I guess it's just disheartening because we're also kind of still have a sour taste in our mouth from the Pickens trade. We were glad to see him gone,
Oh yeah.
obviously. But you traded a guy like Pickens, who I think we would agree is a top 15 wide receiver talent, just a little bit of a head case sometimes. You traded a guy like that with a year and a half left on his deal, and you got a third round pick. And then you have teams like the Dolphins and the Saints asking for multiple picks, including a day one pick for their wide receiver. It's just, it might be for Waddle and Olave, yeah, who
Okay.
I think are good receivers, but Waddle is kind of that high end wide receiver two, low end wide receiver one, in my opinion. And Olave is great when he's healthy, but he's got like 18 concussions.
Ooh. Yeah.
So I just don't want to risk that. So would have liked to see something, but I don't know. We didn't do anything. We're gonna roll with the comp picks and make a move when the draft is in.
Yeah. I mean, they do have a
For,
lot of picks next season, so we'll see what
yeah.
happens with that.
What do you who are your winners and losers from Sunday?
Ooh, winners. Well, I mean, this is just obvious. Winners, Payton. I mean, he
Yeah.
played like he was possessed, man.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh.
then after the game, he finds out they want to drug test him. I don't know if that's like a joke, if he knew he was going to be tested before the game, or if they truly came to him after the game was over. They're like, "Yeah, you need to pee."
Yeah,
He
I think
puts up with that.
yeah, I think like it's happened before where a player has like an amazing game and it's happened with kickers, I've seen it happen all over the place.
Do you see the stuff that kickers are doing these? I mean,
Yeah.
somebody hit a 68-yard field goal over the weekend.
Cam Little, yeah.
God, I mean,
Well, he actually hit a 70-yarder against the Steelers in the preseason, so it didn't count.
oh,
And that
that's
one was
right.
outdoors. So
Hmm.
he hit a 68-yarder. Cam Little, kicker for the Jaguars, hit a 68-yarder at Allegiant Stadium against the Raiders on Sunday, which is the new NFL record. It broke Justin Tucker's previous record of 66 yards, so by 2 yards. But Cam Little hit a 70-yarder in preseason against the Steelers. But again, doesn't preseason games don't count
Yeah.
towards
Hmm.
accolades. So these guys are insane. I mean, a 56-yard field goal is like the new 34-yard field goal.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
so grateful for Chris Boswell.
kickers are a funny animal because now you see like true athletes play in that
Yeah,
position, and I don't mean that kickers of years and years ago weren't athletes, because they're NFL players. I mean, but they were these small,
yeah,
thin dudes, short. They look like, some of them were like Pee Wee Herman in pads, and they go out there, kicking extra points and field goals. And
yeah,
then come around, what, late 90s, early 2000s, Vinatieri, all these other guys, Jeff Reed, when he was, I mean, they've got guns on them. They're always
yeah,
stocky, and they're like former
yeah.
rugby players and soccer players. And what was it, I think, was it Josh Miller? Pittsburgh had either a kicker or punter that played linebacker in high school at one
Dang, I
time.
didn't
I
know that.
mean, and you got these guys, they're like all muscled up, and they're blasting these
Yeah,
field goals from so far away. It's like, when are you not going to be in range?
no, I know. I mean, in that you're seeing teams more and more skip the field goals because I may have touched on this last week. Greg Olson brought it up. Essentially, they're saying that because the kicking range is now like 65 yards, if you get across midfield as an offense, you are more likely to go for it on fourth down because if you say you kick your three, you get your 3 points, you kick it off, it's a touchback, it goes to the 30-yard line. All they have to do is get two first downs and they're in field goal range.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not even worth it to try. You may as well try to get the six rather than the three because they can get three back in two plays because these
Definite
kickers'
change in
legs are
strategy.
it is cool. Like that's what's cool about the NFL. You see, these decade-long transitions. I want to give some flowers to the offensive line, especially Troy Fatanu. I think we got a stud, man. I think we do. He's playing so well. he's quietly been dominant.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you
And
don't hear their names, you know they're getting job done.
exactly, and they're leaving him one-on-one. It would be interesting to see how the offensive line fares. I know the sack numbers aren't top, but it'd be interesting to see that with a younger, more mobile quarterback. We got all love to Rodgers. Never thought I'd say that. We got a statue back there. Like and we've had that most, the last 3 years of Ben's career, and then we had some years of with Kenny, and then 3 games with Justin Fields. It's been pretty statuesque back there. So I'd be curious how they do with a guy who can peel out and make a play with his legs and avoid a sack. I also think the edge depth was fantastic. All 4 edge rushers had a big play.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the NFL, Jack Sawyer. Love that. Love him getting to shine.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's great that we're getting these guys involved. Again, it feels like when we rotate and give the talent the snap count, good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why we go away from that.
I haven't looked into how strong was Indy's run defense coming into this game.
Numbers, I'm not sure. I mean, I know we didn't run for a whole lot. I think.
Yeah, just the run blocking was weaker than I expected.
Yeah.
I felt like they took a step back, or Indy surprised them with some of their speed off the ball.
Yeah, I mean, our whole offense wasn't that. I mean, numbers wise, they weren't that great, but they were efficient.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rodgers had 5.8 yards per pass.
Yeah, he only threw for like 20 or 200 yards,
mm-hmm.
but that ball placement. If you get a second, watch that touchdown pass to Freiermuth.
Yeah, I have.
That back shoulder, oh my gosh, like
mm-hmm.
I will say that is the one thing that I thought Kenny Pickett did very, very well was back shoulder throws.
Yeah.
He didn't do a whole lot well, but I thought he did that very well, especially to Pickens on the sideline. He would just find, like, that was his throw, but to see Rodgers just spin that, it's a thing of beauty. It's a win, but we still have some losers. Who are your losers of the week?
Well, mine was just the run blocking from the O-line.
Okay.
I expected, more out of that. I mean, what Jalen had like 42 yards or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
it was
something like that.
It definitely sputtered, and that put some pressure on the passing game, to make anything really good happen.
But we also had 2 rushing touchdowns.
What's that?
We had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, they got in close. They got it in there.
Yeah.
There's just wasn't any consistency with the run game.
Yeah, I think it's good to see Roman getting more involved, but
Mm-hmm.
that fumble was crucial. We should be very grateful that Joey Porter Jr. didn't drop an interception.
Yeah.
Because did you hear? So Roman, you know what play I'm referring to? Roman jumps over the guy, the ball comes out.
Yeah.
And Ben Skoranek can be heard on live mic walking off the field. He's like, "Why are you jumping? You idiot!" Like something like that. Like he's screaming because it's like, "What are you doing?"
You see it too often these days. I can't remember who else it was in Pittsburgh. I think it was Najee.
Najee loved to try to hurdle, but that man did not have a hop.
To do that. Have you ever heard of Bam Morse that played in?
Yeah, first jersey I ever had.
Is that his first jersey you had?
First jersey, yeah. Very, very faded. Man. Very, very, very faded.
The first game that he ever got any serious snaps, they were playing the Giants in the Giants stadium. They won that game 10-6. I mean, it was when Pittsburgh just won things 3 yards in a cloud of dust offense with O'Donnell behind center. It was 94, his rookie year. I think he ended up running for the team might have run for 150 yards, but he got a lot of action that day because Barry Foster, I think he got nicked up or something in that game. But Bam was hurdling people, all 270 pounds of them or whatever it was. And Cowher's like, "Stop jumping."
Yeah.
Can't do that. But I mean, he was this massive running back and he was leaping over these guys some of the time. And he's like, "No, quit."
And they had those massive shoulder pads too.
Yeah.
So he had to jump even higher. The shoulder pads were like up to here back then. I'm like, "What are you wearing?" Yeah, I thought that. But I thought, again, Roman, that was just not good. He's fighting for more playing time, and he's getting more playing time. He's making more of an impact, which I think is good. But you can't do that stuff. I also, not a big loser, but Jonnu Smith dropped that opening pass.
That's what I was going to say was he was my loser, too, a few minutes
ago.
I mean, that hit him right there.
Yeah, and plays like that, that's just – obviously it's the first play of the game, so you have 59 minutes and 46 seconds to recover from it.
Yeah.
But they're tone setters. They are tone setting plays.
Mhm.
And when you drop that, again, we've talked about this before. Rodgers is not afraid to lay into these guys and
Yeah.
say, like, what are you doing? And for some of them, it's going to piss them off. And for some of them, it's going to be like, you're right. I need to be better.
Yeah.
And the hope is that you trigger something and these guys are like, okay, we got to be better. We got to be better. And Johnny has been, I don't want to call him disappointing because I kind of feel like he was not a throw-in. I know we wanted him, but he doesn't have much to go off of this year. He's got
Yeah.
159 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's not.
Exactly.
But it feels like we just kind of rotate our tight ends through the games.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably why we're seeing more of Freiermuth is because John
Yep.
didn't really pan out what they were expecting.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
And
let's put Pat back here and put him in the mix.
to Pat's credit, he's played well. He's played
Yeah.
well. Let's talk Steeler of the week. I have mine. It's real easy.
Oh yeah.
Payton. I'm going Payton. I'm not going to go TJ because
Oh, okay.
TJ does what we expect TJ to do.
Uh,
That's all I'm going to say
that's
about
true. Yeah.
Payton. Again, he's winner. Just played with his hair on fire. He looked phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
He's everywhere, and even if he's not there, he's going there.
Yep.
That's what's so amazing about him. He's exciting to watch. I feel like he's getting better. I feel like a lot of our guys are getting better. I feel like you're seeing them get better. His interception was beautiful. He was. I watched it. He was in man coverage versus Jonathan Taylor on a
Mhm.
screen. Jonathan Taylor dipped out, but he didn't come upfield. He sat behind the right tackle for a second for a chip. And Payton, faked left, and then Daniel Jones threw the ball right to him, and he stepped right in front of it. I mean, just that's
That was
really
one of
good
those
stuff.
plays, Jones was going.
Yeah. Daniel Jones had 5 turnovers.
Whoo. And they asked Peyton after the game. He's like, I'm not on anything but hard work and black and gold pride.
Love it. I love it, man.
So
Bill,
that's-
yeah. You need those guys who aren't necessarily top early round picks
oh
and
yeah.
just buy into the culture
I
and
love the
become
diamonds in the rough. The guys
yeah,
that
become
get
the
picked later
culture.
on in the draft.
When guys talk about like suiting up for the black and gold, I'm like, I love that guy.
Mhm.
I was like, go ahead and sign him to a second contract so I can buy his jersey.
Yep, your Jack Sawyer type dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt.
So is Peyton your Steeler of the week too?
Well, I'd say I called him a winner. I'm going to go with Cam for
Yeah.
Steeler of the week, smacking those balls down. And I saw
Yeah.
some cut-ups earlier today on YouTube of him chasing some running backs down from behind when he was rushing the quarterback, and then he just going the other direction and making the tackle. And I mean, he turned out. I mean, he knocked a few down. He had at
Yeah.
least 2 batted passes, if not more than that.
He's horrifying. Like I'm just trying to think about if I was back there, and I'm not a small person, but
Yeah.
Cam Hayward is a much larger, muscular man than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's probably 6'4", probably like 290.
Yeah.
Like I'm 6'5", but I'm not 98% muscle. He is just massive.
Yeah.
And when you see the replay and they slow it down and it shows the quarterback in the backfield and he's scanning and you just see Cam
Going,
like I'm like that is like I would have nightmares about that because
he is so good at getting his hands up and just not
like I feel like that's his signature move. Like TJ's signature move is almost when he's spinning on the ground when he's like so low to the
shoulder
ground.
dip.
Yeah, there's like 3 inches between his helmet and the ground, and he had his hands on the ball.
Yep.
Like that's his signature move. I feel like Cam's is as good as he's been as a pass rusher and run stopper. His ability to smack down the ball, I think that'll be coached in the Steelers for generations.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get there, get your hands up because
Yep.
the next best thing is to knock that thing down because
Yeah.
it's not going anywhere then, or you might
Yeah.
even get a pick. Just like
And
that
Derek
was how
Harmon-
Sawyer's pick turned out.
Yep, that's exactly how it was. I mean, that's because Wilson did that. I mean, it's just you're seeing these guys learn. And again, you and I agree this is not a Super Bowl year for us. Let's hope for a playoff win. I would love an AFC Championship trip. I would really love to go into Arrowhead in the divisional and win.
Oh my
I would be.
God, yeah.
If we go into Buffalo and Buffalo in the AFC Championship and Buffalo wins and goes to Super Bowl, that's great. Good for Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. I'm all for it. But I would love to knock the Chiefs out
Mm-hmm.
or the Ravens. But the Ravens aren't
yeah.
even in the playoffs. They're not even in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, another
Imagine by
good
the end of
week.
the year they'll be back in the mix, but right now, no.
Oh, I'm guaranteeing that Week 18 will be a battle for the AFC North.
Yeah.
It'll come down to that because it always does.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be on Sunday Night Football. It'll get flexed because they don't have a time for it right now. And I can hear Mike Tirico now.
Yeah. So we got the Chargers in LA this weekend.
We do.
Both of their starting tackles.
Yep.
IR.
Yep.
When I heard that, the first thing I pictured was when the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers and they were starting both backup tackles and the Bucs ate their offensive line because of that.
Yep.
And I thought, our 4 edge rushers against 2 starters, 2 backups starting, that we may chew them up. You know, we're on the road, though. You never know what's going to happen, but our linebackers should have a good day regardless of winning. I would hope we win, but
they should, man. But again, it's like it's the nature of the Steelers. I saw a guy in the grocery store Sunday morning. I'm wearing a Steelers sweatshirt. He's wearing a Steelers hat. He said, "Hey, go Steelers!" I said, "Go Steelers!" He said, "You know we're winning today, right?" I said, I know we're winning." So it's like we have this confidence that we're going to win the games that we should lose, but we also have this bitterness that we're going to lose the games we should win.
Yeah.
And that's why we can sit here and say, it's like we were talking about over text. Yeah, in theory, every edge rusher should have 4 sacks. In reality, they'll hold us to 0 pressures.
Tell you, it would be nice to see one of those 10-sack days out of the defense.
It would be phenomenal. One thing I would like to keep an eye on with this is obviously Jim Harbaugh as head coach. Was at Michigan. He did coach against both Jack Sawyer and Nick Herbig. Obviously, you know, it's one player on a team, but he has seen these players before.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to see if he knows something about them, a little extra, you know, their tendencies or whatever.
Yeah.
And also he knows his brother, who knows us very, very well. But I'm looking forward to it. You know,
we just played him last year, so there's definitely some familiarity. So
and no Najee though.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just when he signed with them, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Najee, we should have kept him." Like, you got a 1-year deal for a reason.
Yeah,
he's not a quality starting running back. He's a good teammate. He can do some things good, but he cannot hit the hole fast enough to be a consistent pro. That's why he got a 1-year deal. It was a prove it contract, and then we'll talk later. And he got hurt. So,
he proved it by shooting his eye out.
Yeah, and then
remember, kids, don't play with fireworks. No, he didn't actually. I think he had a cornea scratch though, or something like that.
Okay, I thought he blew his Achilles tendon out, and that's why he was out.
That's how he ended his season.
Okay, gotcha.
But he was on IR in the pup list because he, you know, was going as Pirate Najee for a couple. He just really meant Pittsburgh. That's what that was. Or actually, I think he's from Oakland, so you could call him a Raiders fan. But no, it's always interesting when we go out west, especially at a night game. I think stakes are high because we need to start. We've said this. We need to start getting some wins to put some distance because we got divisional games coming up.
Yeah, I want to see these guys get the mindset of, you know, we just got to get out there and win this ball game because that's what we do. That's what we're here for. Instead of hearing that, you know, the night before the game there was this big win one for the Gipper speech by one of their teammates or something like that. I know that's appropriate some of the time, but put your freaking pads on, throw that helmet on, and go out there and kick somebody.
Agreed. All right, that'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
Let's go. Final prediction real quick.
Ooh, man. I'm going to go 2016.
Okay. I'll go 27-20. Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be tight, even if whether we win or lose, I believe it'd be a tight ball game.
Yeah. All right. We'll find out next week. Talk to you then.
Sounds good, man. See you.